We'll just do the take two here. We had interrupted there. So take two with Anton. Where are we up to, mate?
Yeah, so I met Sam Hughes when we were tasting wines at Vaucluse Cellars, and Sydney buys a lot of wine, but it's a little bit of an unfriendly city. And he said, "Where are you staying tonight?" It's like, "Well, probably in the park. We'll cook some food up there. We've got everything in the back of the landy." And he said, "No, come to my place. I'll show you some wines and we'll eat." And we came to quite a romantic dinner in a suburban Margaux, and he opened a bottle of Radicon, which we worked our way through. And I think for me, James and Tom, who were there, it was a bit of an opening point to a new world of wine. I'd heard of these things, but it was intellectual wine for a change of just smashable wine. And I talked about other things that I'd learnt about, which is a moto, who talked about putting energies in to create. Well, what a moto does is he freezes water and looks at the crystals that form, and the higher quality water, the more beautiful the crystal. And then what he also did was to speak to water and see whether the crystal form changed. And if you talk to crystal and said hate or darkness, the crystals start to distort. And if you took pure water and you said I love you and you gave it a water prayer, the crystals start to form into a beautiful motion again. So we thought in our egg project we'd have to work with energies that allow the wine to form better. And then we also talked about the phi ratio and the way that is a living shape. And we looked at a form called the cosmic egg, which is an Egyptian shaped symbol. I think it's even pre-Egyptian. It's one of the oldest symbols that exist, which is egg-shaped. There's certain angles in it, which is the symbol for natural selection theory, which is a shape that builds life. So we got 44-litre eggs made to do the most classic blend, which is only wine in Australia that has any Australian varieties, Hunter Semillon. And there's no other iconic legend than Len Evans. So we got from the Len Evans Brokeback Vineyard that fruit to ferment in eggs with music playing to it. And I talked about another thing with everyone, which was the forming of life, and it's probably a longer conversation, but if we look at everything in life that if you look at the beginning of life, there was no land, there was just the earth and this wet layer of life. That's the land of milk and honey. It was just rich, lively liquid, and as the world hardened, so silica formed around this liquid to form beings, the first life, and that's calcium. That's the first life. And it's said that our blood was the same level of saltiness as the sea then. The sea's much saltier now. So one of the treatments was put in sand, which is silica, which connects us to individualization, and that treatment's held until isolation, because it's our skin that isolates us from the rough world. And to that, music's played to get noise into it, as a moto had worked out. And we play music from putting your finger around the edge of a glass to have this ringing. It's different for the 2011 one, but this is the 2010 X.
What sort of music do you play?
It's just a high ringing tone from playing your finger around a glass, which is connected to silica.
Yep.
And then the second treatment, which is the blood, it's clay. It's not the heart that beats, but it's the rhythms given by blood. If you look at blood, you'll see that blood actually moves like the heart and keeps the heart in rhythm. And blood and clay soils are, I go back to silica. If you see wines from sandy soils, they always have this brightness because everything's in the skin. And clay is like the heart. It's warming. That's why Pinot does well in clay, because it has this warmth in your body. Mm-hmm. And so the eggs, 3 eggs were in clay, and they were held and told love, and they had a heartbeat played to them. And then the other 3 were in calcium, which is limestone, and And calcium is the spine, so later in development, as things harden further, to exist in a hardening world, you needed a backbone, and that's always connected to limestone. If you look at wines in limestone soils, they always have structure. Limestone symbolises structure, and so those eggs are held and told strong, and they had a single note from a guitar on loop played through them to have this strength built into them. And then we bottle those individually for an an per to look at what each did. Plus it's hunter semi on free run, partial skins and full skins, as one should do it, and those are blended together. And at the moment we have the body, which is all of those linked to one, the spine, the blood and the skin, and that's Project Runway 3.
Wow.
Then we make ciders as well.
So is this available to
Yeah,
purchase?
it comes with an album as well.
Really?
A vinyl album on which we've got people who love what we do, as well in the industry, as well as people that like music and love what we do. So Max Allen is first track up.
Oh really?
Some
Does
of the
he
noises
play?
on there. Yeah, he plays mandolin. He's
right.
Cool.
Brilliant.
And Max and the Yeasty Boys, which
Yeasty
is
Boys.
Bill Downey and the guy from Mount Mary, the winemaker from Mount Mary, and yeah, don't record that I forget people.
So for the
Kim Chalmers, who's Chalmers Vineyard. Her first job was writing music.
Yep.
So Kim Chalmers is on there, and then a few other little people as well.
And you can get these through your website?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, then we make cider as well, which is untouched. Pear cider from Lemon Bergamot pears, a South Australian variety, 1902 planted. Apple cider from an organic vineyard that's owned by Graham Schultz. Nothing's added to it, it's just pressed, put into old barrels, naturally fermented, and gone into bottle during primary ferment to create the spritz in the wine, so no dosage, because that would involve sugar or juice that would have to be frozen, so that wouldn't be a natural beverage. So it had to be going into bottle at primary. And some people may have seen the large demijohns that we did as well, but that
I've seen that.
next
Yeah,
winter.
I've seen it on the website. So what's next? What's next for the natural selection theory?
We've got giant eggs being made. That's something we've thrown a whole lot of cash in to see if it works. It's high risk pottery. And
Are they being made here in Australia?
We've got beer and we've got distillation to do. Yeah, down in Byron.
Yep.
A friend of mine who made the small eggs that the egg wine's bottled in.
Brilliant.
So they bottle in little eggs.
Brilliant. All right.